with a terrier that runs straight to the back of the garden at a fence. Think about how it begins. What's the build up to this? Your dog goes to the back door, starts jumping up, scratching the back door. You open the back door. Your terrier goes flying to the end of the garden. How do we stop this? Dog on a lead. Dog goes to go flying out to the end of the garden and he hits the end of the lead. He goes, what the hell just happened? Now you've got your dog's attention. Now you can give your dog an alternate behaviour. Lay down, sit, lead it where you want it to be instead. You have to block these behaviours. Do you know why you guys struggle with the most basic of behaviours? It's because your dog is off the lead when it shouldn't be. Just because your dog's inside and it's safe and secure, if your dog doesn't listen to you, yeah, it should be on a lead. It would help you massively. Have you just gone live on YouTube?
We are live on YouTube indeed.
We are live on YouTube, guys. So there's a lot of questions coming in here. That's really loud. There's a lot of questions coming in here right now, guys. You're going to have a better chance of getting your question answered over on YouTube. Carlene, 01702 746961. Yes, that is the office number. I know it's upside down. There is a reason for it, guys. That's simply because if I put the camera the right way, it actually makes me the opposite way. Yeah? So all of a sudden I start talking backwards and don't make any sense. No, that's not the case. In reality, right now, where I move, it is mirrored on the phone that it makes sense. If I flip the camera so that number's the right way, suddenly if I move this way, I go the opposite way on the camera and it blows my mind. My brain can't compute with it. My dog does every command within a 3+ second delay. How can I fix this? It's like he's debating. Understand that a dog responding to you within 3 seconds is actually not a bad thing. I don't know what breed of dog you've got, but not every dog is super fast. For example, if you ask the dog to sit and it looks at you and 1, 2, 3, it goes into a sit, it could be because the dog is older. It could be because the dog has stiff joints. So those are things you've got to think about as well. It might not be belligerent. It might just have an underlying problem that's doing it. A Mastiff versus a Border Collie, you're not going to get the same reflex response when it comes to compliance with obedience in a Mastiff that you would get from a Border Collie. And I don't care how well trained that Mastiff is, it will never be as fast as a Border Collie. Yeah. So you also have to look at breed and understand certain breeds. You want to improve the quickness of it. Just make sure that your reinforcement is there. What are your thoughts on shock collars? No hate, please. Well, as soon as somebody calls them a shock collar, I instantly know that they don't understand them. And this is the problem with the tool. An e-collar stands for electronic collar. But for some reason, people started saying that they're shock collars. Now, electronic just means that it's an electronic device. Yeah, some are activated by barking, some are remote activated, some are activated by perimeters and things like that, like invisible fences. With an e-collar, they come in vibrate, some sprays, some freaking have a tone, some have a static shock technology, some have a technology inside them like a muscle stimulant. It's a training tool. The ones that have their static shock technology, the cheap 20 quid ones from China, the ones that if you put it in your hand and you go, oh fuck, and want to throw it, they should be thrown in the bin. And the ones that spray citronella, they should be thrown in the bins and taken off the shelves. The ones that cost 200-300 quid that have the same technology as a TENS machine, a muscle stimulant that just contracts the muscles, there's a right way and a wrong way to use that. The ones that vibrate, that have variable settings, there's a right way and a wrong way to use that. It's a training tool, and as long as we're using decent versions of training tools, high quality versions of training tools, and we use them for the right reasons, and the person using them has knowledge of how to use them properly, it's just another tool to add to your arsenal. So many people, though, think they need an e-collar, and they really fucking don't. They haven't taught the dog the basics. The dog's not listening to them because they're inconsistent, because they don't know what they're doing, and then they want to jump to an e-collar. We had a lady the other day message me, for example, and she wanted to e-collar train her German short-haired pointer because it had separation anxiety. I said, well, that's not why you want an e-collar. I said, you want to look at why your dog's got separation anxiety. You want to address that, and you can address that without the use of an e-collar. You're jumping to fucking more advanced tools when you don't need to. What's happening on YouTube, Ev?
Yeah, we got Emily Newman. Morning.
Hello.
Huge thank you to Aaron and a fabulous session last week. Lead walking with Womble is coming along nicely.
Wicked. I love that.
Yeah.
Can I add a link to all 3 books? I'm not sure.
You can add all 3 books individually.
Add.
That's your name.
It is my name. Add.
First sign of insanity. The YouTube camera looks great right now. It's just your hand really close up.
Right, so somebody just asked if I can link all 3 books. I have just linked all 3 books. Remember, guys, blue book is what you need if you want to learn how to raise a dog, issue 3. Yellow book is what you need if your dog already has issues. Red book is what you need if you're expecting a baby, thinking about having a baby, or you have children and want to learn to raise a dog and child safely. Right, any questions on YouTube? Guys, remember, we are dual streaming now. We are live on YouTube.
Danny Walderman, he's a puppy, 4 months old. 3 second is the best. Sometimes it's 10. It's an American Bulldog.
Puppy, man, come on. Puppies aren't lightning fast. Puppies, they are working out what you ask them to say, right? Because a 4-month-old puppy is just that. It's a baby, right? They are distracted by a bloody butterfly. What will happen is slowly he'll be encroaching into adolescence, which will be a more testing, trying time. This is when you want to make sure that you are just being consistent, that you're not getting stressed with the dog because it's not responding fast and things like that. You want to make sure that you're still using tons of reinforcement at this stage, and it will improve quicker with time. At 4 months old, I wouldn't be expecting lightning fast obedience from a puppy because it's just that, it's a puppy. How can I stop my dogs fighting with other dogs at the fence? Stop letting your dog go over to the fence with other dogs. If it's in your front garden, your dog's got too much freedom where it's able to go over to the fence and you can't stop it. So it's going to become territorial and it's going to go for other dogs the other side of the fence. If it's in your back garden, stop letting your dog out in the garden to make its own decisions. The reason dogs have behavioural problems in the garden is because we let them in the garden because we think it's safe and secure, but our dogs don't know how to behave in the garden, so they start going around patrolling, and then they hear a noise, they start reacting to it, they see a dog the other side of the fence, they start reacting to it, and then what happens is you bring the dog inside, you open the door 5 minutes later because the dog's up at the door, it goes patrolling round again, does the same thing, and it's stuck in this loop. Have your dog on a lead, take it into the garden, do some training with your dog, have some fun with your dog, then have your dog in a down by your side. Summer is coming, it should be here. You won't have to wait long for decent weather. Have a cup of coffee, sit down, show your dog a different way of behaving in the garden. YouTube world, what is happening?
Alex Gooden, I have a Jack Russell who is very excited outside of the house. How do I calm him down? I have found treats do not work.
No.
They're going to excite him.
Yeah. So the reality is treats, you can use them to calm a dog down, but you have to really know what you're doing, and it's very difficult. You don't need treats to calm a dog down. You need to slow down to calm a dog down. When dogs come to the training centre, when we're dealing with like the overexcitable, anxious dogs, frustration-based behaviours, that type of stuff, one of the things that they all have in common is they can all do things really fast. They're really good at sniffing, they're really good at running, they're really good at doing things like fucking quick. What they suck at, and the reason they have problems, is because everything is smash mouth at 100 miles an hour. These dogs don't need treats to help them calm down. These dogs need an owner that slows down. So, when you go for a walk, the walk has began before you even get to that front door. Most people think the walk begins once you leave the house and you're in the outside world, but it doesn't. It begins before you even pick up the lead. If you have a dog with behavioural problems outside the house and you utter the words, do you want to go walkies? This is why your dog has behavioural problems outside the house, because before you've even started, you have just amped up the dog. We know the dog wants to go walkies, guys. The dog is stuck indoors all day. It's the highlight of his day. If you pick up the leads and your dog starts losing its shit, your dog associates the leads with a walk. So every time it sees it, it goes mental. You need to start picking up the leads throughout the day. Make a cup of coffee, pick up the leads. Go into the toilet, pick up the leads. Got to run upstairs, take the leads with you. Eventually, your dog will learn you picking up the leads doesn't necessarily mean it's time for a walk. Then what you want to do when it is time for a walk, pick up the leads, call the dog to you, attach the lead. If the dog starts getting silly, jumping up and down, spinning round, losing its mind, sit down. Remember, when you're starting something new for the first time, it's going to take some time. But what takes long today will take less and less if you are consistent with it. So if it takes you half an hour to leave the house today, it will take you 25 minutes tomorrow, then 20 minutes, and so forth if you are consistent. So, dog starts getting excited, you stop. Have a cup of coffee. Put the dog in its bed. That will help it calm down quicker. If it comes out of its bed, put it back into its bed. If it comes out 10 times, put it back 10 times. When your dog is calm, pick up the lead, go to the door. Put the dog behind you, not in front of you. Open the door. If the dog goes to rush out the door, shut the door. Unlike that 1-star review we got where somebody accused me of slamming his dog's head, his friend's dog's head in the door, which never actually happened because the only dog that I've been accused of doing that with literally was Leo.
Which is my dog.
Which is Evan's dog. Don't always believe 1-star review. That was hilarious. I'll get back to that in a minute, right? But yeah, if the dog goes to go forward, shut the door. Put the dog back into a sit. You want to be able to open the door, dog sitting there, looking at you calmly. You don't need any words here, guys. Silence is golden. If you haven't seen my video from yesterday on TikTok, check it out. Silence is golden. Watch it. The video I posted yesterday, right? When the dog is calm, leave. By starting the right way, you'll see a massive difference in the walk. Want to learn how to teach your dog to walk without pulling? If you're on YouTube, any of the full-length videos we have posted that are an hour or so long, or even recently, didn't we post one just this week on lead walking?
We did, yeah.
Yeah, just this week we posted a lead walking video. But every one of those full-length training videos involves lead walking in some way, shape or form. Go and watch those if you're on YouTube. I want to talk about that 1-star review, right? So one of the ways we built the presence that we did is by taking clips from training sessions, but using like 7 seconds of them, because there was a time when short videos did the best. Yeah. Now social media is gearing towards more longer informative content, but when TikTok come on the scene, it was 7-second videos seemed to do the best. So we would take 7 seconds of a training session that we did, but we would really focus on a bit that would create a little bit of fucking shock awe. So a video I did with Leo, which if you watch it is absolutely fine, the full tutorial. Leo goes to go forward and I shut the door. Now overly sensitive Sally's decided that I had slammed his head in the door and that Leo was heavily concussed and things like that. But it wasn't. The dog was absolutely fine, right? And Leo is still here to this day, absolutely fine, because I didn't slam his head in the door. But that was the only dog that we've ever done that with. But we got a 1-star review a little while ago where somebody said I did that to his friend's dog, and he's actually referring to the video that I posted, right? Which isn't his friend's dog, that's my business partner's dog. So that's what I mean. You have to take reviews with a pinch of salt. Right, YouTube, where are we?
Laura Clark had a Zoom call with Sophie last week. She's fantastic. Just had to say, seeing huge improvements with my pup already.
Love that. Zoom calls are fantastic for people that are really, really far away and want some immediate help and advice with their dog. They want to sit down and talk to somebody. We offer Zooms. The beauty of Zooms is if you're in Australia, you can have one. If you're in America, you can have one. If you're in India, you can have one. Zooms are fantastic. I have an 11-week-old puppy. She's brilliant. Sits, lays down, stay. I'm taking her in her first walk. Wicked. Right, when you take a puppy for a walk for the first time, you can expect what we call a sensory overload. Don't be surprised if your dog sees a leaf blowing and slams on its brakes and gets a bit concerned or spooked. Don't be surprised if your dog's stopping constantly because it hears noises or traffic. What you want to do, though, is not pander to your dog. You will have much more success if you do the walk in silence. If your puppy has a little moment where it freaks out, just shorten up that lead, take a deep breath, make sure your actions are backing up your energy, and when your dog's calm, then move on. Take it slow, short and sweet. Remember, it's the first walk. It's a lot for your puppy to take in, so just take it nice and slow.
Yeah, go on.
Yeah, go on.
Yeah, that's all right. Yeah, Natasha Taylor. Good morning, Southend Dog Trainers. I have a rescue street dog and she tries to eat poop out on walks. How would you get around this? Many thanks.
One, I would make sure that the dog understands leave it, and I would make sure that my dog has a decent recall if the dog's off the lead. If your dog doesn't understand leave it and doesn't have a decent recall, it's not ready to be off the lead and you are setting yourself and the dog up for failure. Leave it tutorials are on the Southend Dog Training app. I'd also make sure my dog walks properly on the lead, because the reality is, if your dog doesn't understand the lead, it's going to have his head to the floor the entire time, and it's going to be treasure hunting, and eventually it's going to find a bit of treasure, in this case a bit of shit. If proper lead walking is having the dog's head up, as I've said, if you're on YouTube, which you are, where you've asked this question, watch our lead walking videos, because if your dog walks properly on the lead, it's not eating shit. And then what you do, when you give the dog freedom to be in front, to sniff, to explore, to cock its leg, to do the things they like to do, you just be extra vigilant. If you see a bit of shit coming up, yeah, simply call your dog back to you, do a little bit of hill work, and then let the dog go back out and sniff and explore again. By having the dog understanding the lead, it's a much easier way to teach leave it as well. So lead walking videos, it's the key to helping so much. Guys, there's a lot going on right now, back and forth between TikTok and YouTube. I'm going to jump over to YouTube now. I've been on TikTok for a while. If you want to come and join me over on YouTube at Southend Dog Training, Southend Dog Training 1. Come over to YouTube right now. We are live. Those of you that bought the book during this live on TikTok, you guys are absolutely amazing. And I will explain to people again what those books are, because I still keep getting questions from them, because I think some people may have missed the start of it. But very quickly, the blue book, which is available on our website, on Amazon or the TikTok shop, is How to Raise a Dog issue free. You need this if you've got a puppy or thinking about getting a puppy. If you've got issues, you need this. This is the yellow book. This is how to fix behavioural problems. If you've got children or expecting a baby, this is the book you need, okay? They're available right now in the TikTok shop. I'll see some of you guys over on YouTube right now. Take care, guys.
Sarah Carnes, tips on Springer Spaniel who started growling at me and running when ear cleaning. Nearly snapped at me. He used to tolerate it before.
Yeah, so muzzle train your dog, because if your dog wears a muzzle, it makes life so much easier. Every single dog on the planet should be muzzle trained. No if, no buts, no maybes. I don't care how friendly your dog is. What we're experiencing here, for example, is somebody had no problems once upon a time doing the ears, but is now starting to have problems. Even the friendliest dogs can exhibit reactivity issues if they are sick, ill, and or in pain. Do not be fooled in thinking that your dog would never hurt a fly. If your dog has never experienced pain or never been sick or unwell, you don't actually know how your dog's going to behave. If your dog can tolerate a muzzle, it allows you to give your dog potentially life-saving treatment a lot easier. So muzzle train your dog. The other thing I'll be doing is looking at why I keep having to give my dog ear drops. Now, I'll talk about my late Rottweiler, Daisy. She used to get terrible ear infections. Did you know one of the most common causes of ear problems in dogs is diet? When I was feeding my dog what I call commercial pet food, this is why I was having ear infections. I didn't know at the time, because the vet never fucking told me. Happy to give me steroids, happy to give me lotion, but never told me how to actually stop it. He just told me, yeah, dogs get it. It's just one of those things. When I switched my dog to a raw food diet, guess what my Rottweiler never had? She never had a problem with her ears again. So putting your dog on a raw food diet can solve a lot of problems. Muzzle train your dog, make your dog go through that process, and then change your dog's diet so it's on something better. Guys, if you are following us on YouTube, please do me a massive solid and give us a thumbs up. Yeah, if you're asking questions, it's free right now. All of this advice is free. The only thing I ask in return is you give us a thumbs up. Ev, what's happening?
Lita Mountcastle, my pup keeps going to the toilet in the house. We've tried everything. Can you give me some advice? Probably not tried everything.
No, that is such an overused word. It's a bit like people saying sorry these days when they're not sorry.
Sorry.
Yeah. Sorry, like if you're out every day apologising for your dog's behaviour but you're not doing anything about it, you're not fucking sorry anymore, you're just fucking using it as an excuse. Now I'm not talking about you in particular here, Lita, but I fucking hate when people tell me I have tried everything, because I guarantee if we search Lita's name and her email address,
I'm going to look right now.
She's not on our online training group. She's not booked a Zoom. She's not phoned the office.
No, Lisa has never signed up.
So you've tried a few things and it hasn't
Not under
worked.
that name, at least.
Puppy toilet training. I bet you don't even have to book, because this would have told you as well. You've tried a few things and it's not worked for you. But you've tried nothing of the advice that we've given you, or not actually been for advice. The book would have solved your problem, by the way. Just throwing that out there. Now, puppy toilet training. Number 1, diet. Diet makes your toilet training process so much easier. If you are feeding food like Baker's, Royal Canin, Ooka Banuka, Wainwrights, Chappie, Wag. No wonder your dog's shitting and pissing everywhere. It's just that simple. The food is absolute garbage. Your dog can't have proper can't manage its bowel movements and bladder as regularly because it's having to drink more water because the food's crap. When we eat shit food, guys, we drink more water. Therefore, we need to toilet more frequently. It's just basic freaking science. If I eat food that doesn't agree with me or food that's crap, I need to go to the toilet way more often. It's just basic science. When it comes to dogs, if you put your dog on a raw food diet, you will find toilet training so much easier. It is that simple. Next, we make sure we're not using puppy pads. Puppy pads literally tell the dog one day it's okay to piss and shit in the house. Then next day you're taking it in the garden. Then the dog goes, no, it's cold outside. It's not normal for me to wee outside or poo outside because ever since I've been in your house, it's been okay to piss and shit in the house. Then you get stressed at the puppy, even though you told the puppy it was absolutely fine to piss and shit in your house. So, we don't use puppy pads. Next thing we do is we recognise puppies sleep 16 to 18 hours a day. We recognise that when a puppy first wakes up, it's going to need to go to the toilet. So by having a nice puppy schedule where we're training it, interacting with it, then taking it out to go to the toilet, waiting for it to go to the toilet, then we put it down for a nap, it sleeps for a couple of hours, when it wakes up we take it in the garden, waiting for it to go to the toilet, then we do some training, playing with it, interacting with it, then it goes down for a nap, then it wakes up and you repeat this. That's how you toilet train your dog. If your puppy's got too much freedom, if it's choosing when it's nap time versus you choosing when it's nap time, if it's on shit food, this is why your dog's pissing everywhere.
Esther Bosch. Hello, my dog is aggressive towards visitors after giving birth. How can I best guide her so that she no longer attacks visitors?
Okay. Explanation. You gave birth or the dog gave birth?
Doesn't state at the moment.
Yeah, I need to know the answer to that because that's key information there.
Right, Tanya Taylor, reactive Rottweiler to people but in places, i.e. vets and pets and home, doesn't react to people. Why is this?
I do react to the vets.
Well, no. Yeah, doesn't react. Not really. Tanya, can you reword that?
To me, it sounds like the dog's reactive at the vets and places like Pets at Home and things like that, and that's because the vets is a very stressful place for a lot of people, a lot of dogs. And also a lot of vets' waiting rooms and things like that are very overcrowded and very small. Places like Pets at Home, the acoustics and everything are a lot more audible for your dog. It's a sensory overload, and again, you're in a more of a confined space. When you're outside in a field and things like that, or doing a street walk, your dog sees much more open space. The audible's not as intrusive and it's more of a relaxed thing for your dog. It's completely normal for them to have problems at the vets and things like that. What I would do is I would pick up a copy of this book, which has a whole chapter on health, a whole chapter on how to prevent going to the vets as much, as well as how to stop your dog having problems at the vets and how to overcome problems at the vets. Also, muzzle train your dog, because a Rottweiler that will snap at people that are trying to handle it is scary. Put a muzzle on that dog and it will make people much more relaxed around your dog, which in turn will help your dog relax.
Frank, I've never seen you without a hat on.
Yes, I do sometimes not wear a hat. The reason my hair is now short, and the reason I always had a hat on, is because I didn't like having to constantly do my hair, so I wore a hat. But then I was confined to keeping the hat on, because every time I took it off, my hair was a mess. Because summer is meant to be here, although if you're in Southend right now, you wouldn't believe it, I shave my hair short for the summer, so I don't have to constantly wear a hat. There we go.
There we go. Rhiannon Taylor, how best to carry a puppy for initial socialisation training and how best to reward for being calm?
One, your puppy doesn't need to be interacting with dogs, so you don't have to worry about that. Two, all your dog has to do is see the world. Yeah, that is socialising. Seeing the world, so seeing dogs, seeing people, seeing traffic, seeing all these different things. Yeah, all you need is take your puppy's dinner out with you, breakfast out with you, whatever. Hold it in your arms. Don't hold it up here. Yeah, this is a completely unnatural thing for a dog. Hold it down lower. Yeah, almost by your side. Yeah, that will make your dog much calmer. Yeah, and you can still reward your dog in its arms. The reality is, socialising, people fuck it up. In this book, all of them cover socialising. This is the one you want, a puppy book. For example, in that book, we talk about proper socialising. So many people think socialising is I must quickly, once my dog's able to go outside, let it say hello to dogs and people. I guarantee you guys, if you do this, you will have some form of issue with your dog. Whether it's a dog that doesn't listen to you around other dogs, a dog that pulls to get over to other dogs, a dog that doesn't focus when there's other dogs around, or worse, a dog that's nervous of other dogs, anxious of other dogs, or even become reactive towards other dogs because you've created an expectation, you've overwhelmed your dog, and problems arise. If you want your dog to be sociable, you have to start saying no, and you have to start going on adventures with your dog, taking your dog to different places, seeing these things along the way, but teaching your dog good things come from ignoring it.
Anna, her dog got bad glands from commercial food.
Yes.
So, there you go. It's not just what Adam says.
I will tell you another story. So I told you a story about my Rottweiler, but the story about my Staffy, who's on the front cover of this book. Obviously, I had those. I got the Staffy first. Then 6 months later, I got the Rottweiler, so they pretty much grew up together. They're not here anymore. Sad part of having dogs is they simply don't live long enough. But the other thing with Sammy, she had problems with her skin and problems with her anal glands. Now, Sammy was the most sociable dog on the planet, naturally, but she would get very defensive around other dogs when her anal glands were blocked. Very similar to the problems with my Rottweiler's ear infection. Every time I went to the vets would secrete the anal glands, but they wouldn't do anything to actually prevent it in a sense. It was just always 1 step forward, 2 steps backwards. Because of the problems with the ear infections and the problems with my Staffy's skin, they were eating the same food. I switched them to a raw food diet, never had problems with Sammy's skin again, nor problems with her anal glands again. So raw food fixed the skin condition, fixed the anal glands, and fixed my Rottweiler's ear problems. Raw food is a game changer.
Adam is the client's name, by the way. Any tips for lead training? My 8-month-old Springador is a great dog and is really good off leash, great recall. But when he's on the leash, he just pulls relentlessly.
Yeah, watch videos on here, dude. Literally, we posted a lead walking video just this week on YouTube. And any of the full-length videos that we have been posting. So we drop a video every, Monday and Friday?
Yeah. Tonight is a different one. It's a podcast.
Tonight's a podcast, but every video that involves some sort of training, any video that's over an hour long will feature lead walking. We've done videos with Spaniels on here, French Bulldogs on here, Rottweilers on here. We've done videos with Ridgebacks on here. Pretty much every breed you can think of, there are videos on here, but all of the full-length videos have lead walking video stuff on here. Or literally, there's tutorials on here, dude, that will help you.
Paige, any tips for a male GSD greyhound mix hitting peak puberty? He's nearly 9 months, bit nervous, but he's doing well so far.
Yeah, don't focus on the dog being nervous, because then you make it a thing. What you need to do is focus on making sure that you're not adding to the problem and that you're just going places. And if your dog does get nervous, that you just shut up, don't say anything, take a deep breath, wait for your dog to stop freaking out, and then move on. We have to understand, so I did a video on this yesterday, I posted it on TikTok and Instagram, but if you're on YouTube, you might not have seen it if you don't have other social media. So I'm just going to explain something very, very quickly that can really, really help you guys. We have to look at the way dogs see the world. Dogs are nose, eyes, ears in that order, which means the strongest scent of a dog is their nose. Yeah. So the first thing a dog, when it's meeting someone new for the first time, whether it's human, whether it's animal, is they're using their nose. There's a reason that dogs sniff everything. That's basically them on social media downloading information, taking in all that data. So when a dog is around you, we're dealing with a species that can smell your blood sugar levels dropping. They can smell if you've got life inside of you. They can smell if you're sick. They can smell if you're happy. They can smell if you're scared. That nose is so powerful. So if your dog is a bit nervous of something and you are nervous, even if you're not showing that you're nervous, the dog can smell it. The second thing is eyes, sight. Yeah. So what is your body language saying? Is your body language backing up how you feel? You have to be confident at all times, and your body language has to back that up, because the dog will see when you're tense. They can see when you're like this. They can see when you're tense. Then the next comes the verbal. But if you're saying it's okay, but you're tense and you're feeling sorry for your dog or you're nervous, your words mean nothing, because the sight and the sound, the smell and the sight, are saying completely different to what your words are saying. So if your actions and your energy is not backing up your words, counts for nothing. So we're better off saying nothing and focusing on how we feel. That's how we help a dog. In terms of adolescence, make sure your dog's not off the lead. As I said on the TikTok earlier, so many people are duped into thinking they have a well-behaved dog, yeah, when it's a puppy. Oh, my puppy's got a really good recall, so I'm going to let it off the lead. I'm going to let it go and play with loads of dogs. And then what happens between 6 and 12 months, adolescence kicks in. And just like that, your dog's the other side of the field not listening to you. Just like that, the commands that your dog was listening to yesterday is not doing anymore. Just like that, your dog is getting more pushy, more bold, more brave. So you need to make sure you're still using leads indoors and outdoors during that adolescent period, and that you are doubling down on being consistent, and you're not coming away from your reinforcement schedule until you've started to go through that adolescence. And how to raise a perfect dog literally will guide you through adolescence, guide you through puppyhood, will help you.
And can I just say well done to Lita? She's actually listened to your advice and ordered one of the books. Good. It's going to get the help you need.
I love that. So, now, Lita, if you turn around and say I've tried everything, I'll be more sympathetic. But thank you so much. Yeah. Honestly, I wasn't necessarily moaning at you, and I do appreciate you bought one of our books, because I wrote them to help people when they are helping people worldwide. But it's just that I hear it almost on a daily basis that I've tried everything, and there's so much to do. Thank you so much, Lita. Yeah. I'm waiting for you.
No, I meant...
give me something.
Yeah, I was going to say, well, we're nearing the end of the live, I think, guys. So, right, we've been on YouTube now just over half an hour. Right, Daisy Threads, my dog has started barking out in the garden before he goes to the toilet, like letting everyone know he's there. Why does he do that?
Insecure. Yeah. So most likely candidate is insecure. Second likely candidate is your dog's just over aroused. And the thing is about dogs, guys, if they do something over and over again, whether we like it or not, it becomes a learned behaviour. It becomes second nature. It becomes normal for them. Want your dog to stop barking in the garden? It's very, very straightforward. Take your dog out in the garden on a lead. If it barks, pop on that lead, tell your dog enough. When your dog goes to the toilet, make a big fuss of it. Using that lead prevents your dog from doing that behaviour over and over again, which opens the door for you to show the dog a new way of behaving.
Jade, how can I get my AMB pup? What would that be? American Bull?
What?
AMB. American, I'm going to guess American Bulldog or something, I don't know. AMB pup to follow through on his commands, behaviour outside in the house garden.
What was the question?
It just says, how can I get my dog to follow through on his commands?
Make sure he understands.
Oh, it is an American Bulldog, was right. AMB.
Sure. Well, I can't even understand the word you're saying. I still don't know what the question is.
It just says, how can I get my American Bulldog pup to follow through on his commands / behaviour outside the house / garden?
By simplifying it. So the reality is, in dog training, we have a thing called the 3Ds, which means distance, duration, and distraction. What that basically means is, if we're working on, say, distance work with our dog, we may have to simplify the duration in which we're asking the dog to do it, and the distractions in which we're adding in. If we're adding in distractions, we may have to simplify the exercise and not expect so much distance and not expect so much duration. So we have to strip it back to basics. So people are often fooled into thinking their dog's really well behaved because it will listen to them in the house, and then they go outside or to the park and it's too distracting, and the dog won't listen to a single thing that it will listen to in the house. And you're moving too fast. Have your dog on a lead for a start. If your dog knows sit and you go in the garden and it won't sit, but we know the dog knows sit, we ask the dog to do it once. If the dog does it, we reward the dog. If the dog doesn't do it, we repeat ourselves one time and we'll gently manipulate that bum down, but we don't reward the dog. We want to teach the dog that listening to us first time right now gets us the reward. But if we repeat ourselves, there's no reward, but I'm going to make it happen anyway. If I call my dog to me and it doesn't listen, it's on a lead. So I make it happen, no negotiations. Puppies should be on an indoor puppy lead, no if, no buts, no maybes. They should also be on a puppy lead inside the garden. This is how you start to do it. Then what I do is I go to my front garden, I go to the road, and I'll slowly start doing this, and I'll add in the distractions over time. Guys, we are going to end it. The sun's come out.
Yeah, oh, you did ask for it.
The
there is one question though, Curlio's asked a few times. Is it possible to fully train a Border Terrier for perfect recall?
Yes.
It's been 3.5 years and his recall is selected.
Yeah.
But it's, as Adam was just saying, distance, duration, distraction.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, Border Terriers, if you know what you're doing, you can have 100% recall, but they're not the easiest dogs in the world for recall. No terrier is. But I've got videos of my part Border Terrier, Roxy, who is on the front cover of this book, recalling off of squirrels. Somewhere on YouTube, you'll find a video of her taking flight after a squirrel and me calling her back mid-flight. She has got a strong prey drive. She will chase anything small. She has a kill list to rodents, which I don't mind because it's natural for her and I didn't want them in my house, and she killed 12 of them. This was back years ago. She's too old to catch them now. She's fucking pretty much blind and deaf. She's 14. Back in the day, she would do it. But yes, proved that you can successfully recall train a terrier. Myla is part terrier, my dog, who is, I think, 2, rescue dog. She's got perfect recall, and we've done it time and time again with terriers. You just need to make sure you're doing everything right. I did a whole recall training session with somebody yesterday, and there is so much to it. It's not just a case of calling your dog and having them on a long line. It's making sure you're moving the right way. It's making sure you're using that lead the right way. It's about making sure you're teaching an invisible boundary as to how far the dog can go. It's about teaching direct and indirect recall. There is a difference between them. It's about making sure your reinforcement is heavy in the right areas. It's knowing how to prevent it, and then it's also going other places and testing it. We can help you. Ring that number, 01702 746961. Guys, I'm going to love you and leave you. Sun's out.
Guns out.
Going to go and have a cheeky vape. Don't judge me. And yeah, I'm going to love you and leave you. Everyone that gave us a thumbs up, thank you. You're absolutely amazing. Everyone that shares our stuff, you're amazing. Everyone that subscribes, you're amazing. Everyone that buys our books, it means the absolute world to us because it helps us continue to do free stuff. Things like purchasing a book, right, allows us to continue to do free stuff. So it really is beneficial to do it. I give away a lot of free time to help you guys wherever you are in the world by doing these lives, by doing these videos. So it really does mean the world to us when you do pick up a copy of our book. Even if you don't necessarily need it, just buying it because we wrote it means the world to us. Take care, guys.